future of American gymnastics. Young and talented, these junior division gymnasts from around the country have migrated to Rochester, New York to compete in the Women's U.S. Classic Gymnastics Championships. The top 14 all-around finishers will advance to the United States Championships in Nashville, Tennessee. Who will go? Find out next. CN8 Sports presents the 2004 U.S. Classic Gymnastics Championships from Rochester, New York in the Blue Cross Arena. Today, the junior division. Hello, everyone. I'm Lou Tilley, joined again by American champion Bart Connor. And Bart, we head towards another Olympic Games. Now, these that we'll see in the junior division won't be eligible for this year in Athens, but we may be seeing the stars of tomorrow tonight. Yeah, they're junior gymnasts, but they're no way near junior in quality. We're going to see as good a gymnastics as you'll see at the Olympic level, but these young ladies are between 11 years of age and 15 years of age, so they're just too young to make the cutoff point, which is normally 16 years of age to qualify for the Olympic team in that year. So we're going to see fantastic gymnastics from some exciting young ladies who will be perhaps the stars of the Olympics in 2008, which is in Beijing. That's a long time away, but for these young ladies, that's what they're tracked into. There are certain stars among the group, but who knows who will develop in those years to come. Jana Bieger is a good example. This young gymnast comes from excellent bloodlines. Her mother, a three-time Olympian for West Germany. That's correct, and she was second in the all-around recently at the Pacific Alliance Championships in Honolulu, and she's a very powerful gymnast, high start values on all of the apparatus, between a 9.8 and a 10.0 potential on every event. This is Ashley Priest. Yeah, she's out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Mary Lee Tracy is her coach there, and Mary Lee has coached many of the great American champions. She was third in the all-around at last year's competition at the Classic, and third in the Pacific Alliance as well. And this young woman credits as her role model Nadia Comaneci. This is Shaylee Worley. Yes, she's from Orlando, and she was fourth in the all-around at the recent Pacific Alliance competition. She is a very balanced gymnast, and she has enormous potential, and we're going to see some exciting gymnastics today from those young ladies as well as a host of others. Bart, of course, the great American champion, is married to Ms. Comaneci, the great Romanian champion. We'll be telling you more about that and the great impact they both had on these young people as we progress with tonight's United States Classic from Rochester, New York. We'll be right back on CN8. The site is the Blue Cross Arena in Rochester, New York. You might know it better as the old War Memorial Arena in Rochester. It's the home to the Rochester Amerks and other indoor sports. But today we are watching the United States Gymnastics Championships and the events that we'll be watching: the vault, the uneven bars, the balance beam, and the floor exercise. And Shaylee Worley is our first competitor on the floor. Wow, what an opening tumbling run. Arabian double front. She went out of bounds. She had a little too much power. That'll cost her right there. It was a 1/10 of a point for going outside the white boundaries. She's out of Orlando Metro Gymnastics. Her coach down there, Jeff Wood, said when she came into the gym a few years back, he said he realized this is one of perhaps the most talented kid he's ever had in his 25 years of coaching. She has the flexibility, the power, the technique, everything, the full package that it takes to be a world-class gymnast. And it's clear when you watch her, even though she may have a few execution deductions here and there, you can see that the potential's there. Look at that beautiful triple twist. And how to predict, she's just 14 years old and won't be eligible for this year's Olympic Games. We'll remind you of that throughout the juniors competition. But 4 years from now, she'll be 18. That's just about prime time. As a young child, she had a very lucrative career as a model. Down in Orlando, she did modeling for Disney and Universal Studios and other campaigns. And wow, what a finish. What a finish. What a way to start the show. What a broken back. She's just 13 years of age. And the athletes today that you're seeing are between 11 and 15 and ineligible for the Olympics this year. But these
surely could be the stars of the future. Look at this pike double back somersault at the end. Very high and nice technique, but then to finish it off with such flexibility is terrific.
Marvelous lines. Jana Bieger is our next competitor out of Coconut Creek, Florida. And Jana is one of the young athletes that we told you about in the Open. Her mother, a three-time Olympic competitor for West Germany.
Her mother is one of her coaches, Andrea Bieger, along with Tim and Tony Rand down at the American Twisters. She's just 14 years of age. She's already qualified to the U.S. Championships based on her performance at the American Classic, which was in Ontario, California a couple of months ago. So she's here just to tune up a little bit for the U.S. Championships in a couple of weeks and try a few new skills. And as her coach was telling me before, she's working on polish at this point. She has high level of difficulty on all the apparatus. She's very powerful, but they're just working on cleaning up her execution and style. And
I would imagine important then to do it in competition. Very different than practice time during the gym.
Generally the meet starts a little slow like this because the judges are all getting used to each other and the scoring system. The first couple of scores tend to come out a little bit slow, and then the pace picks up once everybody gets into the rhythm of the routines here.
There's her salute and the signal that she's about to begin on the balance beam.
I mentioned the judges. We'll take a look at some of the things that the judges are looking for. They're looking, of course, for acrobatic type connections. Oh, a little sloppy there, but a very complicated move, a front flip with a half twist. And right off the bat, as I mentioned, you can see that she has plenty of difficulty and complex skills in her exercise. Oh, nice combination.
So she's attempting a relatively difficult routine here.
And she's trying to connect several of these complicated skills. That one move, a front somersault, side somersault off of one knee is a new move for her. And look at, she just powers through these acrobatic connections.
On the beam, the women are allotted a finite time limit in order to complete their routine.
Basically, the routine takes about a minute and a half. And in addition to those acrobatic elements, of course, they have to show a full turn and different types of leaps, hops, and a nice double front somersault for a dismount. That's a complicated, highly difficult exercise. Not quite the polish and the clean execution that you'd like to see, but as her coach Tim Rand comments to her, that's what they're working on now, is polishing some of that incredible difficulty. This is tough to do. Punch from both feet and make two somersaults all the way around, and she does it nicely.
Jana Bieger, just 14 years old. It is literally a four-ring circus here. And Monica Soji, she is dynamite in one small package. Now on the uneven but parallel bars. You can see it's quite a stretch for her from one to the other.
Okay, release move. Oh, no.
Lost her momentum.
Broke her rhythm there. You can see the coach stepped in to spot her. Her coach, Kelly Hill, one of the legendary American coaches. Coach Dominique Dawes and Courtney Coupettes and many of the best gymnasts in the world. Oh, she almost went over on that handstand, but she saved it. That's one tough young lady.
Monica Soji of Gaithersburg, Maryland, and the Hill School there.
She was hoping that would go a little bit better, but that's what this meetup is all about, is gaining some valuable experience.
On the beam, Megan Blair, pardon me, from the Texas Dreams Gymnastics School.
She's coached by Kim Zemeskel, who is the world all-around champion, the first American ever to win a world all-around title. And,
she's here tonight?
Yeah, she's here. And her husband, Chris Burdett, they have a gym down in Coppell, Texas.
131 of America's finest women gymnasts are gathered here in Rochester for the event, split into a couple of divisions. You're watching the junior division. These are women who will not turn 16 by the end of the current calendar year. Boy, the musculature just impressive in her legs, and I guess that's so important in this event.
She reminds you a little of Kim Zemeckel when she was at her finest. Extremely strong, explosive off the floor and beam. You can always tell by the body styles of the gymnasts which ones will be the good floor and vaulters and which one will be good on events like the uneven bars. All right.
Megan Blair finishes up.
Nice pike double back somersault at the end. Good power to finish.
This is Jennifer Ivino on the uneven parallel bars. Waiting for the go signal from the judges to begin her routine.
She did not compete at the American Classic a couple of months ago, so she'll need to do well here if she hopes to qualify for the U.S. Championships.
Was it 14 move on from here, Bart?
14 athletes, assuming that they meet the qualifying score of a minimum of 33.5 points.
Total score for the 4 events.
That's correct, which means about an 8.4 average, which doesn't sound that difficult, but if you end up having a low score, and she had a slight break there on that kip to handstand, it could put her in a little bit of a bind. So
pressure, Jennifer Ivino. Here's her dismount again.
This is that double layout somersault. She's tiny, just like Monica Shoji, and so she's able to swing fully extended between the bars and set up a beautiful double layout.
It's Bianca Fleur.
That's a good strong pike double back for an opening run. Most gymnasts do 4 tumbling passes in their exercise. Oh, good combination. 2.5 twists to a punch front with a full twist. She gets an extra 1/10 of a point bonus for connecting those 2 acrobatic skills.
A lot of the dance moves in the prancing Bart are sort of the gaps between the dramatic moves.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point because, you know, often the gymnasts are so focused on getting these tumbling runs in, nice triple twist, that for many gymnasts the dance and the choreography just becomes an afterthought. She does a triple twist there and doesn't quite make it all the way around. I know it's frustrating for choreographers because sometimes coaches bring choreographers in to work with the gymnasts, and then they realize that the gymnasts have so much to do in terms of tumbling and fulfilling requirements that there is very little time to
develop
set
the polished
the stage
dance moves
and exactly build a character and tell a story. You know, in a sport like figure skating, they're out there 4.5 minutes.
Right.
A gymnastics routine is just barely 1.5 minutes, and they're so focused on all the acrobatics that it's tough to actually express themselves any other way.
Back to the balance beam, and Kendall Robarts is next up. Kendall in the black and white.
She's from down in San Antonio, Texas. She tied for 13th at the American Classic this year, so that doesn't make the cutoff point. She needed to be in the top 10 there, so oh, she's a little smile on her face there as she landed that side somersault, a very difficult move.
Well, I'll tell you, unusually.
Oh,
my.
Isn't that a shame? She made the difficult move and fell off on a rather easy combination.
1/10 of a deduction, a 1-point deduction.
It's a half a point to fall, and that is
5/10.
Not only does she get the deduction for the fall, but she gets an execution deduction, as well as she misses a possibility of a connection. Isn't that interesting? She did that again. She did a back somersault to a jump full turn, and she smiled. You rarely see that from a gymnast.
Nothing, right?
Yeah. Good double back somersault. Oh, I like her potential. I think she has...
Good smile, good energy.
Yes, and she has all the qualities that a world-class gymnast needs to have.
watch the footwork.
Here's that side somersault, and she does it nicely. You have to land exactly sideways, and that angle on her feet illustrates that she did land perfectly sideways. A little bit low on that landing of the double back somersault, but she had very high level of difficulty throughout that routine, and she's happy with it.
That is Austin Phobes on the beam, quite literally. Rebound Gymnastics Club.
Diane Farrell is her coach there in Cliffwood, New Jersey.
Other athlete that did not compete at the American Classic, so she needs to finish in the top 14 here in Rochester. We'll move on to the next leg in Nashville, Tennessee.
She has good polish, good presentation, and she's very aggressive. Look at how she overdoes her tumbling skills. I like to see, she was hoping to connect those two moves and get a connection bonus, and she bobbled a little bit, but as I mentioned, her aggressive style is good. She attacks the beam.
Now, when you see those bobbles, those are deductions, even though you've executed the move.
Correct. It's 1/10 of a point for a minor bobble, up to 1/2 a point for a major bobble where you even reach down and grab the beam. Look at that form on that double back at the end.
Yeah, she liked it too, and explodes off the beam. Austin Phobes, Cliffwood, New Jersey.
I love to see that pleasure. That's great. This double back is nice because, watch, it's difficult to keep your knees together when you're doing the double somersault, and she has beautiful form in the air. A lot of potential in that young lady.
Siobhan Church now as we go to the vault, and this is a quickly developing, Siobhan Church, quickly developing exercise, but so much fun to watch.
This young lady from Scats Gymnastics, she's coached by Don Peters down there in Huntington Beach, California. And Don, of course, coached the 1984 Olympic team, which featured Mary Lou Retton, and he has always contributed a lot of gymnasts to the national level. And this young lady is a beautiful floor exercise performer, and she has some uneven bars moves that few gymnasts in the world can do. So we'll see her on those specialties later. Let's see what she can come up with on the vault. Okay. Actually, very clean execution on that vault. Handspring piked front with a 1/2.
Siobhan Church comes to us from Tarzana, California.
This vault has a 9.6 start value. That's the degree of difficulty based on the technical abilities of that vault, and a 9.6 is the highest you can score, and her technique was very good.
Ashley Priest, one of the young stars here, and a gymnast to keep your eye on, Bart.
Just 14 years of age. Her coach, Mary Lee Tracy, told me before the competition that she is a very balanced gymnast, and you can see that already. Mary Lee also mentioned, she said, notice she has red hair. She can be a little feisty, too. Oh, good combination. Pirouettes, full pirouette, 1.5 pirouette, to a release move, to another release move down to the low bar. Beautiful connections. Really like her clean execution. This is impressive. Another release move. Variation of the Horkina release on the uneven bars. And a double layout.
14 years old out of Westchester, Ohio. Ashley Priest.
She needs to have a good competition here. She didn't do well at the American Classic a couple of months ago, so she'll need to do well today.
Quickly now to the floor exercise. And Casa Price.
She is already qualified to the championship, so she's using this event as a tune-up of sorts. Nice. A Arabian double front and a good landing.
Out of Plantation, Florida. About to turn 15 years old this summer. Her father, a 3-time world champion in artistic roller skating, and her mother was a national champion in the same sport.
So far, a clean exercise. A little bit of sloppy form on that combination, 2.5 to a front layout. Should be her last tumbling pass. Triple twist.
Cassie Price out of Florida. Samantha Pasick on the beam, didn't compete in the 2004 American Classic, so needs to finish in the top 14 here.
She's a big talent. She's very explosive, and you can see very quick, just 12 years of age. Her mother, by the way, Luann, is the head of the publications division of USA Gymnastics, so she's grown up around it for sure.
Just 12.
She trains in Indianapolis at DeVos School of Gymnastics. What power in that aerial front walkover.
Indianapolis, another great site of Olympic competition.
Oh, that was unfortunate. Looked like she had that split jump 3/4 turn. Such a tiny young lady, but notice this, she has 5 coaches: Peter Zhao, Tom Strange, Don Gibson, Pat Warren, Jan Exner, and Amy Scales. How about that? One tiny little gymnast with 6 coaches.
Of a board meeting to determine a routine.
She says her favorite event is the floor exercise, and she's extremely explosive there, so.
Keep an eye on her, just 12 years old.
She was second in the all-around at the recent Junior Olympics in Orlando. Good pike double at the end. You can see the power and the potential in this young lady.
As she's surrounded by all 5 of her coaching team, here's the dismount again.
Yeah, she's fearless. You can just tell the way she cranked around that pike double back that she's got a lot of guts.
Hillary Morrow on the uneven parallel bars. She's out of the Massachusetts Gymnastic Center.
She's coached there by Kristen Freundlich and Ivan Ivanov. Oh, a little trouble there on the mount. She was going for a full pirouette and botched the handstand a little bit. Ivan Ivanov, her coach there, is one of the great Bulgarian Olympians.
Ivan Ivanov. Can't have enough Ivans.
She's aggressive. She doesn't have a very long, fluid swing. She's so tiny, but not a bad finish.
And back to the floor exercise, where Natasha Kelly is underway out of Brown's Gym in Houston and out of Houston, Texas. She was 6th overall at the American Classic this year, but competing here as well.
Wow, what a high Arabian double somersault mount. She's coached down there by Dan and Ashley Baker, and she really can get off the floor. Look at the explosive power on that front layout with a double twist to another layout.
But Bart, because of that explosion, she risks stepping over the white line as she did a moment ago. Could hurt her score.
Going out of bounds is a 1/10 of a point deduction plus a 1/10 for making the technical error and the step, so they can add up. But at this level, I think what's most important is to see the potential. Oh, that's unfortunate. She was going for a nice high triple twist and got lost in the air a little bit. That's the purpose of this meet, is to really have these kids
read my mind, yeah.
test their potential. have the raw ability. It's clear.
Right. So you're not going to play conservative here. This is the time to start to work on your Olympic caliber.
Oh, that's unlucky at the end.
And take the spill if you have to, yeah.
So she finished with a full twisting double back, but as we mentioned, she's already qualified for the U.S. Championship. So here is just a chance to try to step up the difficulty in her exercises and challenge herself a little bit more.
We are through one rotation of 4 here on the events at Rochester and the U.S. Classic. We'll be back with the second rotation and more when we come right back. As you saw, a subpar score there of 7.575, and as Bart pointed out, it sounds relatively easy to average that 8.4. But when you're looking at a 7.5, you have to balance that out somewhere. She can't make many more mistakes going forward.
She's out of Long Island, and now she competes for Hills Gymnastics in Gaithersburg, Maryland. She says Michelle Kwan, the figure skater, is her
That's interesting.
favorite sports star. She says because she never gives up. Her teammates call her Spike. She says someday she wants to be a sports psychologist. Boy, she's a jumper. She can really get off that beam. She could use a little more fluidity of movement, but I'm impressed with her explosiveness. Let's see what she finishes with. Oh, no. Oh, you can tell right from the takeoff on the beam.
Her left foot slipped a little bit on takeoff.
Oh.
And she feels it, and she's hurting right now.
Hope she's okay. She just looks like she just barely cleared her head. You can see that her right foot
missed completely.
Slipped off the end of the beam.
She's lucky she didn't hurt herself.
That's one of the scariest moves in gymnastics, is that round off to a double back off the end of the beam. Luckily, she seems like she's okay.
Kendall Robards is next up in the floor exercise, coming off her first performance on the beam at 8.4 and change. From San Antonio, Texas.
Solid landing on that Arabian double front.
Performing to what, Bart? What's the name of this song? Do you know?
Help me out here, my friend.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Beautiful triple twist. She's lacking a little polish to finish some of those dance elements, but I really like her personality. I mean, she looks up off of the floor. She's doing the best she can to sell her routine.
Kendall Robards on the floor exercise, and quickly we move to the beam. And Hillary Morrow from the Massachusetts Gymnastics Center. Floor exercise, probably her strength. Let's see how she makes out on the beam.
You often talk about young female gymnasts. The strength to weight ratio is unbelievable. Look at the muscle definition on this young lady. I mean, she's miniature, but pound for pound, she could be among one of the strongest athletes in the world. Oh, beautiful front with a half twist. And I liked her technique. She twisted a little later than most other young ladies do, and it was impressive. We saw her struggle a little on the uneven bars. This is This is a much better effort here, and a strong double back at the end.
Very nice routine from Hillary Morrow out of Massachusetts.
Here's this front somersault, and watch how she twists a half twist, but she twists it a little later than most. She goes all the way over and then twists. A little bit of a bobble on the landing, but I like the technique.
Here could be a special treat here. Shantessa Palma on bars. Our first look at this young competitor. And she is something, you say, Bart, out of Costa Mesa, California.
Yep, she is one of the few gymnasts in the world that risks a triple back somersault at the end of the routine. Now, I've been watching her do it all day in practice, and I haven't seen her stick it yet. She goes for it, however. Let's see if she'll go for it today. It's an inverted giant swing, hop out, shoot half to the low bar. You have to watch for those transitions. The gymnast must show low bar to high bar transition that she just demonstrated, and also a high bar down to the low bar transition. Okay, let's see if she goes for it.
Building up.
There it is, triple. Oh, over-rotated.
Boy, she hit it and then some.
Isn't that gutsy? She almost made it. That's one of the best ones she has done in the last couple of days.
Well, she spun it out. She got the rotations and then went over just a bit.
Good power, and watch how she has to really straddle tuck and pull that around to make it.
Boy.
Oh, she almost
Coach
had it.
Knew she almost had it.
You can see the other young ladies admire her for having the guts to go for a triple somersault, and someday she's going to make that.
Our second look at Siobhan Church. We saw her on the vault, and she scored a 9 there. And now about to get underway on the bars. Lou Tilley along with Bart Connor bringing you the action. This is a future star you're looking at right here.
Oh, and this could be one of the treats of the day. If she can hit this uneven bar routine, it is world class. Watch this. Oh no, little trouble right from the beginning. Beautiful release. Watch this. Toe on reverse
Wow.
head. And a transition to the low bar.
What explosion.
Now watch this combination coming up here. Blind change, stoop, invert to a double front with a half piked. Oh, that's amazing.
Man.
That is a world-class routine from just a young junior gymnast at just 14 years of age.
Boy, Siobhan Church has the look of star written all over her.
She almost got in a little trouble there, but she was
right at the start,
clever to keep it going, and this is just world class. Double front with a half piked from an inverted giant swing. Her coach Don Peters coached America's first world champion ever in Marcia Frederick. She won on the uneven bars, so once again Don Peters has delivered a world class uneven bar worker.
And we continue the progress of Ashley Priest, one of the young stars on hand. And you can see on her first pass at the bar is 9.55. Here she is on the balance beam.
Beautiful technique and nice combination. Aerial, front walk over, back handspring layout.
She is so tight, and we're watching it head on here from our location in the booth. And you can see the tight line she keeps on the beam.
Oh, this is good stuff, and a really kind of a clever, unusual combination there.
She exudes confidence.
She says one of her heroes is Andrea Raducan, the great Romanian gymnast, and her style on the beam is much like the Romanians, very aggressive and quick, staccato-type movements.
She also admires one of our CNA colleagues, Shannon Miller. Talk to Shannon. She'll be going to Athens with NBC as part of the telecast team this coming summer, this coming August.
She was third in the all-around at the recent Pacific Alliance Championships, and
just turned 14 and finishes up another excellent performance, this time on the balance beam.
She has it all. She really does have the complete package to be a world-class gymnast. She has the power. She has the aggressiveness. You can tell that she's very confident the way she rips through that routine.
Let's move over to the floor exercise, and this is always accompanied by music. A lot of fun to watch, and particularly in Samantha Pezic. Explosive athlete coming off her first competition on the balance beam at 8.75. Needs to kick it up a notch here.
This is the place where she can do it. This is a fun routine to watch. A lot of complicated tumbling. Oh yeah, Arabian double front.
With all that jazz choreography here.
So exciting to see this young lady doing so well at just 12 years of age.
That's amazing.
I remember when her mom, who works for USA Gymnastics, would bring her to the gym meets, and she was 4 or 5 years old, and she was sitting in the stands watching, and now here she is in the middle of the action.
Boy, the leg muscles on this girl, just 12. And again, you're watching competitors who are not eligible for the Olympic team. You must be 16 by calendar year end to qualify for this August in Athens. So these are the stars, perhaps, of the next time around.
Good, clean 2.5 twist punch front. You talk about her fitness level, and that's really one thing that's improved a great deal in the last 6 or 8 years in the U.S. program. Is they have these developmental programs where they test these athletes on a program called the TOPS program, and it's all about your physical abilities, your strength, your flexibility, your quickness off the floor, and tons of conditioning. And it's paying off because the U.S. athletes look stronger and more fit than ever before.
Here's a competitor we're seeing for the first time, Kaylee Roll. Already has a vault score of 8.4. This on the parallel bars.
She competes for Gymnastics Gymnastics in Costa Mesa, California. I love that opening combination.
Yeah, that looked a little different.
Those are called German giant swings. A little bit of trouble on that pirouette.
See the action up on the big screen overhead here at the Blue Cross Arena in Rochester, New York.
Boy, she really swings the bar. She has really good technique, good straight body line in those giants. All right, and a solid landing. Good for her.
She gave us the big smile, and she said it was okay.
Good form there. She wants this to be a double layout, which means she wants to get her body just a little straighter in the future. And that was in the pike position, but a really clean landing.
Samantha Miller about to take flight, and I mean that literally sometimes here on.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy, she's grounded already.
Oh, she was going for a stalder on the low bar with what appeared to be a full twist and got hung up after a half twist. Now, she'll lose a half a point. She'll have some execution deductions. Let's see if she just starts completely over. That was the first move in the routine.
Well, that's the mental aspect, Bart. It's hard to get back into the flow after having just made such a radical mistake, I guess.
Oh, and she's so high in that beautiful release move. Oh, that's so unfortunate that she missed early on, because this is good stuff.
Well, it's good comeback music in the background as they go to the theme of Rocky. Let's see if she can complete the comeback after the opening stumble.
Boy, she has really nice technique on these giants, and a good combination to the finish.
She really rallied after the opening bobble. Jana Bieger scored 9.075 on the balance beam.
We already saw the complex acrobatic elements that she performed on the beam. Let's see what she can come up with on the floor. Never hurts to have a Rocky theme as your tumbling music. Wow, nice double front somersault at the beginning. Really impressed with her explosiveness. Front full to a triple twist effortlessly. In fact, overdoes it a little bit and goes out of bounds.
Even when you drop the back foot, as long as you cross that line.
Right.
It is inspiring music, Bart. I was just the other day running up the steps of the Art Museum in Philadelphia. My headphones on.
what else she can come up with. Handspring, beautiful 2.5 twister. Boy, I can't say enough about the combination of power and technique that allows her to do that. As her coaches commented, she can use a little more polish in her fluidity of movement and choreography, but there's no denying that her tumbling and explosiveness is just as good as it gets, and an Arabian double front at the end. That's hard to do at the beginning. What power.
Beautiful finish for Jana Bieger, an accomplished gymnast, already finished second in the American Classic. And here on the vault, Cassie Price.
She'll be doing a Yurchenko with a 1.5 twist. Good solid landing, just a little out of line.
Shayla Worley scored 8.825 in her first event, the floor, now on the vault.
All right, clean execution, which is sort of her trademark. On a Yurchenko, full twist on to a pike back somersault off.
Rochester, a fine training site of its own for some of the young gymnasts. We're at halftime. 2 rotations to go in the U.S. Classic Gymnastics Championships from Rochester. When we come back right after this. From the Blue Cross Arena in Rochester, New York, the 2004 U.S. Classic Gymnastics Championships, the junior division. We're about halfway through here on CN8. From that powerful team from Costa Mesa, Ivana Hung now on the beam. And she, too, is another that needs to qualify here to move on to Nashville. The Gymnastics team from Costa Mesa with 3 competitors here on the junior level. Wow. Bart, refresh my memory, the balance beam 4 inches wide?
Yeah, that's right, 10 centimeters, which is about 4 inches. And of course, she's only 5 inches wide, so for her, it's like running down a sidewalk.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
She has a lot of good skills.
Ivana Hung.
She's demonstrated all the requirements that the judges are looking for. Look at that beautiful leap. Leaps, jumps, hops, turns, in addition to all the acrobatic tumbling type moves, are required in this routine that lasts about 1:30. 2 back handsprings to a really nice double back, and great execution.
3 excellent talents coming out of this club from Costa Mesa, California. And now on the bars, Shayla Worley. We've seen her already in a couple of competitions.
Beautiful opening release move. Free hip to a reverse hecht. And another high reverse hecht. I love her form and execution.
Shayla in 8th place overall in the standings after 2 performances.
I just cannot say enough about this young lady. Her execution and difficulty, and you see her coach, Jeff Wood.
He knew it, didn't he? Did you hear him? Ha ha!
Yep. He's coached a lot of the great ones, including Brandy Johnson, a world medalist for the U.S. back in 1989. And he said this is the best kid that ever walked into his gym. Look at that clean body line.
Was
full
Jeff
and a half pirouette right to a double front somersault, and she drills it.
This is another of the trio of competitors from the Gymnastics team from Costa Mesa, California, Shantessa Palma.
They call her Tessa around here.
Wow.
Wow, look at that.
How do you do that?
It's called a VC.
Oh, that's neat. Nice subtleties in some of the routines here. The individuality really comes out. Oh.
Nice combination. All right. Interesting little bit of choreography, which is a real plus on the balance beam. You're focused on the acrobatic skills, but any gymnast that has the presence of mind to deliver a little choreography is obviously in control.
Still playing to the judges.
Oh, that was unlucky. Back handspring to a layout, 2-foot landing. She wasn't quite as assertive on that combination as she was on some of the earlier ones. Just a little tentative. It's really exciting to see the depth of the talent of the junior division of USA Gymnastics. This is one of the deepest group of gymnasts I've seen in a long time. All these young ladies, too young for this Olympics, but there will be an enormous number of top talented kids to choose for the next Olympics in Beijing, China.
Shantessa Palma, one of them, as she finishes up on the beam.
Not bad, a tucked double back somersault.
Kendall Robards with her vault. She scored 8.575 on the floor.
Having a pretty solid day. We saw her on the beam as well as the floor, and
there it is again.
Take a look at this style of vaulting. Not too much speed in the run, but she goes backwards onto the vaulting table with a full twist and a pike back somersault off. That vault starts from a 9.7 start value. It's a little high. It shouldn't be worth that much. I think the vault is going to be devalued after the next Olympics, and they change the code of points.
Siobhan Church, already one of the most exciting competitors that we've seen in today's competition. Now on the uneven bars, or just coming off the uneven bars, now on the beam.
You saw her score there for the uneven bars was only an 8.9. She did a very complex exercise, but that's how difficult gymnastics is these days. It's so hard to get a score in the mid-9s. Oh, went for a risky combination of leaps. Those are also required in addition to the normal tumbling and acrobatic combinations. Oh, good save. She's known for innovative work on all the events.
Siobhan just turned 15, and so she'll be ineligible at any rate to make the Olympic team this coming summer.
She won first place in 2001 in Miss Fitness USA.
Really? That's interesting.
And she have time to do that. Of course, you know, with the skills and performance level, she could probably just put together a routine in one afternoon, and obviously with the fitness that comes with gymnastics, be a contender. Beautiful. Oh, man, she had it. It was a nice pike double back somersault, and she saved the landing. She is a talented athlete to be able to find that floor and not crash.
Siobhan Church out of Tarzana, California.
We talk about air sense being critical, and she knew where that ground was and how to get her feet down there, even though she was a little low on the takeoff.
This should be fun. Monica Soji out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. Always explosive, exciting athlete. She's had a bit of a stumble on the bars, just 7.725. Let's see if she can make up some ground here on the floor.
Okay, full twisting double. And you notice she lands on that
extra padding there?
Extra padding. It's called a sting mat, and it's designed to just take the sting out of those landings.
What about the floor? There's some padding underneath that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Spring supported?
There's 4-inch springs, this super foam and carpeting. It's really springy and very forgiving to the athletes if they land short.
You were with us earlier in the year up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. We televised the Parkettes meet, and Monica lit it up there. It was a real crowd favorite.
It's very interesting when you watch the junior gymnasts. They are powerful little tumblers, and yet it's a challenge for them to give some kind of maturity to their choreography and their movement. Some can do it, but it's very rare. She's trying her best.
But that's not a problem. I guess it's easier to defy gravity at that age. Monica Soji.
It's funny, she tumbles way over her head, which means she's about 4.5 feet in the air. This is that pike double back somersault. Boy, she really moves. Nice technique on the takeoff, and overdoes it a little bit.
And you can see the smiles on the faces of the fans in the background for Monica Soji. Cassie Price, coming off a fine vault of 9.150, now moves to the bars.
She says this is her favorite event. Oh, I like her aggressive style on the swing elements. She really pushes it back and lets it fly. Nice. Big release move. That's called a reverse hecht. Backwards over the bar. Oh, nice. Stalled her pirouette combination. This is good. Occasional form breaks and a little knee bend here and there, but there's a lot of good stuff in this routine, and a full twisting double layout at the end.
Cassie Price, a 9th grader out of Plantation, Florida. 15-year-older competing for the Orlando Metro Club.
We saw her coach Jeff Wood there congratulate her. She's already qualified through to the U.S. Championships, and there is that double layout that you see from many gymnasts, but she added a full twist in the laid out position.
Jana Bieger halfway through, and she figures to finish very near, if not at the top. This is on the vault.
We saw that terrific power on the floor. Let's see if she can deliver also on the vault. Oh, yeah, double twisting Yurchenko. Her coach, Tim Rand, who's there, he said this is the first time she's going to try it in competition. And that's one of the reasons that she came here to compete. She's already qualified for the U.S. Championships, but she thought she'd challenge herself by going for a new vault for her. This is a Yurchenko style, which is back handspring onto the horse. And there is the double twister, and boy.
Split the fairway.
She has it. There's her mom in the white jacket, Andrea Bieger, who was the 3-time Olympian from West Germany.
Kaylee Roll about to perform on the balance beam, just 4 inches separating success from failure in this exercise. And Kaylee, after 2, or rather after 1 performance at 8.050. Let's see how she can do on the beam.
She had an 8.4 on the vault as well. We saw her rather unique performance on the uneven bars with some creative skills. Not bad there. That's what they call a back handspring to a layout back somersault.
You talked earlier about you can kind of tell from the physique which girls will perform well, and some of the best competitors we've seen on the beam have been rather, muscular through the legs, and maybe even shorter.
Yeah, some think that oh, that's unlucky.
Lower center of balance.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Center of gravity lower to the beam. She was doing a combination there, which included a standing tuck back salto, and she just didn't fight it very much. It looked like she was a little bit off, and she might have been able to save it, but she's not quite finishing a lot of these moves. Those split jumps are not getting to the full 180-degree split that the judges are looking for. And there's not a lot of fluidity in this routine. It seems like trick, stop, trick, stop, trick, stop.
Yeah.
There isn't a lot of continuity connecting all of these moves. Okay, not bad on that dismount. 2 back handsprings to a double. That was probably the best part of the exercise.
Kaylee Roll, and now we move to the bars. And this is a competitor from Allentown in the parkettes that we expected to see a lot of today, but she apparently is injured and is only participating in 1 or 2 of the events. Geraldine Stack-Eaton.
They have an interesting rule here, Lou, that if she hopes to petition through to the U.S. Championships because of her injury, and she sprained her ankle today earlier, and so she's not doing anything that will jeopardize injuring her ankle further, so she can do the uneven bars, but I believe she's going to go for a watered-down dismount, something that wouldn't stress her ankle. But if she hopes to petition to the U.S. Championship, she has to compete in at least one event at either one of these 2 classics, the American Classic or this event, the U.S. Classic. And let's see what she does here. The routine isn't bad, and there you go, an easy dismount to protect her ankle, but that will fulfill the requirement of having competed in this event in one event, and will allow her to try to petition through.
And quickly to the vault. Samantha Pasek.
That was pretty good. She is a tiny little thing, but as we saw on the floor, she's very powerful.
Hillary Morrow out of Massachusetts is right in the mix. All-around score approaching 17 points after 2 events. This on the floor.
A quick reminder, once again, what the judges are looking for. Of course, tumbling predominates in this event. That qualifies as a back tumbling pass. You also need to show one tumbling pass that has 2 different types of somersaults in it. 3 different types of somersaults in the complete exercise.
Somersault, forward tumble?
Either forward or backward counts. You need to show a dance connection of leaps and taking off of 1 foot. Here, let's see, is oh, that was unfortunate. A triple twist, and she was just short of rotation. Looks like she had enough twist, but she was just short of flipping rotation. I live in Oklahoma.
Music,
yeah, we hear this a lot in Oklahoma.
I was going to say that.
Okay, now there was that tumbling pass with 2 different types of saltos in it, but because she landed on her seat, she will not get the credit for doing that event requirement. That's unfortunate.
Kelly Morrow trying to find a spot in the top 14, and with a qualifying point total that will send her on to the finals. Austin Fogues also nibbling around the top contenders here on the vault.
Now that is a nice looking vault for such a tiny little gymnast. She's not even the height of that vaulting table, and she did a Yurchenko laid out with a full twist. That's tough.
To Bianca Floor, Preston, Ohio, on the bars.
Nice pirouette close to the handstand. All of those pirouettes, oh, that was beautiful. That 1.5 finished right on top. It's important when you do those pirouetting skills that they finish close to the handstand to get full credit. This is good. And a full twisting double layout, and she stuck it. That's a great exercise.
Competes for Flights USA, and she had a good landing. Back to the floor exercise, and Ashley Priest, one of the real developing stars among the junior ranks. Ooh.
Clean opening tumbling run. That's what they call a full in. It's a double back with the full in the first flip, as opposed to a full out, which is the twist in the second of the two flips. Oh, isn't that nice? 2.5 twister to a front layout. That combination fulfills that 2 somersault in one pass requirement, as well as a bonus for connecting those 2 difficult skills.
She hails from Fairfield, Cincinnati, and trains in Cincinnati, Ohio, under Mary Lee Tracy.
Mary Lee coached 2 of the Magnificent 7 that year, Amanda Borden and J.C. Phelps, winners of the Olympic team gold medals in 1996. She is good.
Quick.
And precise. A little more maturity in her presentation skills than some of the other younger gymnasts here.
Ashley Priest from Cincinnati, Ohio. Here's a look at Natasha Kelly on the bars. She's from Houston, Texas.
She's averaging just a little bit better than 8.2. Quick reminder, the gymnasts have to score about an 8.4 average to make the qualifying score to move on to the U.S. Championships.
Natasha, one of the competitors here, Bard, who finished 6th all around at the 2004 American Classic.
Which means she is automatically earning a spot into the U.S. Championship. So this is a tune-up meet for her. All right. Difficult dismount. Half twist into a double front somersault.
Kaylee Tissue about to begin her floor routine. Kaylee coming out of Plano, Texas, and the World Olympic Gymnastics organization there.
They have the premier program in the United States right now, with Carly Patterson, the number 2 ranked gymnast in the world, and Holly Weiss, the world.
Bart, for parents out there, you've got a young woman, you think she has potential, someone tells you that she has the opportunity to go to one of these places, the Parkettes, etc. What kind of an investment is it on the parents' part financially for this kind of coaching?
Well, it's nowhere near what figure skating is, I'll say that, but it does get a little pricey at the level that these young ladies go, because many of them have to be homeschooled, and sometimes they need to move away from home and get an apartment. You know, oftentimes the mother will move away with the daughter, and they'll go to live and train in a different community, so it can add up.
Yeah, what an investment, not only of finances, but to the family, by the parents.
Oh, going for a double twister, way too short a rotation there.
Kaylee Tissue wrapping up her routine on floor. Jennifer Iovino is our next competitor coming off the balance beam, where she scored 8.40 now on the floor. And Jennifer, halfway through the competition, sits at 32, so she needs to come on strong in her remaining 2 exercises.
There's a good tumbling run. Double front, just a punch double front. Yeah, her score of 7.5, 7.5 on the bars with an 8.40 on the beam. Keep in mind the gymnasts are trying to finish in the top 14 here, but they need to average about 8.4 to qualify for the U.S. Championships, so she cannot afford a low score here.
She is here with teammate Monica Soji from the Hills Gymnastics School in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Kenny Hill, Jen Bundy coaching.
Kelly Hill, pardon me. That's right. There we go. Good.
See in the background there, NBC 10 here in Rochester, the Olympic station. We appreciate their cooperation, and this is kind of a cooperative effort here, bringing you tonight's competition.
Nice takeoff on that clean pike double back at the end of that routine.
And a nice finish as well for Jennifer Ivino.
Athletes, please line up behind your squad leaders. Athletes, please line up behind your squad leaders.
You talk about the Olympics this summer, a lot of excitement for the U.S. team, a terrific U.S. senior team, and this, of course, the junior team, the next generation of stars for the U.S. And the U.S. program is a lot to be proud about right now because there are a lot of talented young ladies like this Jennifer Iovino out there.
3 of the 4 exercises complete. The athletes move to their 4th and final station. It's the 4th quarter, if you will. It's make or break time for some of these young competitors, and we'll have it for you when we come right back. From the Blue Cross Arena in Rochester, New York, it's the 2004 U.S. Classic Gymnastics competition. We're watching the junior division, and we're now into the 4th rotation, or the 4th quarter, if you will. This is Savon Church, who's been one of the outstanding performers in today's competition, in her last routine on the floor.
Oh, lovely. Now, she is well known for her choreography and her
ballet-like moves,
dance and presentation.
Yeah. You said she was a fitness competitor and won a fitness competition. Those would be ballet-like moves, yes.
Difference in her presentation and her body movement compared to the other juniors here.
Great polish and poise. Beautiful scoring also. Is this routine athletic enough?
Yes, it is. She had powerful tumbling at the top, and in the middle, let's see what she comes up with for a final tumbling run. Okay, good pike double back. I've seen more difficult routines, but what's impressive about that is the choreography and the presentation. At 15 years of age, she is much more mature in terms of presenting her performance than some of the 11 and 12-year-olds that we see here.
Siobhan Church finished 5th at the American Classic in 2004. So she's already qualified for the next round.
There's that pike double somersault. A little shaky on the landing, but I like that routine.
Kaylee Tissue, our first look at Kaylee on the runway.
All right, not bad. She's had all of her scores today in that low 8.0 to 8.275 range, so she's 30th in the all-around standings going into this final rotation.
Kaylee Tissue competing out of Texas. Samantha Pezic has had a good meet now on the uneven parallel bars. Out of Fishers, Indiana. She's Scored 9.05, 8.75, 8.75. An outstanding meet so far. This is her last routine.
Good power on these giants. Very high dismount, tucked, full twisting double. I think she'll be happy with her effort. Currently in 10th in the all-around coming into this final rotation. That should be enough to keep her in the mix there.
Samantha Pezic. Morgan Evans is now on the balance beam, and we pretty much know, Bart, that she needs about an 8 minimum here to hit the qualifying standard at the very least to move on to Nashville.
That's right. She's had an 8.725 already in the vault, an 8.875 on bars, 8.625 on the floor.
Morgan Evans out of Chesapeake, Virginia.
Currently in 8th place. Beautiful. Oh, she made the difficult part of that combination, but botched the jump, and therefore will lose the connection bonus of those 2 elements.
Do they know where they stand as they hit their last exercise and what kind of score they're shooting for?
Well, it depends on the athlete. Some like to know exactly, and some would rather not know.
It's like golf. Some guys are scoreboard watchers coming down the stretch.
Right.
Others put blinders on.
I always liked to know. I always thought it gave me a little inspiration when I needed to step it up. She seems very tentative here.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking.
She may know what she needs.
It's like she's playing defensively here.
That's right. You know, you get very cautious at this point because she's had a pretty good competition. She's currently in 8th in the all-around, top 14 go to the championships. Oh, overdone there.
See, this is going to be right on the line, I would think. And this is why it's fun to watch the juniors as they learn to compete under the pressure.
Well, she was 9th in the all-around at the American Classic, so she is already qualified. So, but still, I think she'll be disappointed not only with this mistake here, but with her focus of that routine seemed tentative and defensive, as you mentioned.
Last event of the competition for Shayla Worley. In good standing.
Yeah, this could be one of the treats of the competition. She is just a master of this event. Look at that. She has the flexibility and the power and the technique.
Oh, sure, but let's see you do that at 47.
Look at the quickness.
Yeah.
Talking to her coaches before the meet, and they just said that they're impressed with all of her qualities, but when she gets on the beam, she just owns it. You can sense that with this.
Whoa.
Look at the precision. She's quick and aggressive.
Yeah.
Look at the precision. It's just
even in those moves.
Sharp. This is world class. This is the kind of beam routine that she could compete at the finals of the Olympics with.
No
I mean,
kidding.
it's that good. Absolutely. That's what I said at the top of the show. These young ladies, even though they're too young to make the Olympics, many of them could be standing on the medal podium at the Olympics with the quality of their gymnastics. And this is what we're looking at right here. This is as good as it gets.
Put a star next to this young competitor, Shayla Worley.
Oh, nice takeoff. That's just great stuff.
Jana Bieger has certainly been one of the stars of this competition. Here she goes on the uneven parallel bars. Her 4th event.
Yeah, she's had a terrific day. 9.35 vault, 9.075 beam, 9.2 floor. She can finish up with a great meet if she can nail this routine.
And again, we're looking at 13, 14, 15-year-old young women, and the poise combined with the athletic skills already is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, Jana Bieger.
Good for her. She just had a solid day, and she seems comfortable with the level of difficulty that she does. She doesn't seem like she's over her head at all. Those moves are easy for her.
There she is with her mom, a 3-time Olympic competitor for West Germany.
They're working, as I mentioned, on her polish and execution, but you can't deny her power and technique.
Bianca Floor in her final exercise. This will be on the balance beam. Competes for Flights USA out of Creston, Ohio.
Last year at the U.S. National Championships, Lou, she was 6th in the all-around. Good strength in that flange.
I drew a round of applause.
She competes for Flights Gymnastics. She's a real product of that U.S. Tops national team program. Oh, that's unlucky, because that was a complicated back handspring to a backflip with a full twist. Now she has 10 seconds to remount the beam after that fall. She loses a half a point for falling off. This will be a good test for this youngster. Can she come back from that aggressively? At a 9.425 on the uneven bars earlier, so.
In good standing here, though, beginning her final exercise.
She's one of those athletes who has not yet qualified for the U.S. Championship,
right.
So she needed a strong competition here, and it looks like she will easily finish in the required top 14, probably the top 3. Began gymnastics back in 1997. Okay, a nice 2.5 twister to finish.
Here's Jennifer Iovino, and as she looks down the runway on the vault, she knows she needs to nail this.
All right, pretty clean execution on that handspring hike front vault. There are 5 different groups of vaults, and that was a 9.4 start value, the maximum she can get based on its difficulty.
Kendall Robart is about to perform on the uneven parallel bars. Has had a fine, very solid meet, very consistent scoring.
Oh!
And that's her first big mistake.
She's on the bubble at 15th place. Remember, the top 14 qualify to the U.S. Championships. She only needs to score a little bit more than an 8.0 to meet the minimum score of 33.5. 33.5. So that is very unfortunate, because now her fate is in the hands of the judges. She went for a release move, which unfortunately she was set up a little wrong, because the preceding element didn't finish close enough to handstand to allow her to set up her release combination the way she wanted. That's unfortunate.
Brittany Ramsey among the contenders with only the vault left.
All of her scores in that 8.1 to 8.85 range. Pretty solid. Oh, and there's a great looking vault. Yurchenko 1.5 twist, and she finished it effortlessly and just landed cleanly.
Michaela Stambaugh, also one of the higher ranking competitors here as she comes to her final event.
Nice looking release move. That's called a Jaeger salto. It's a front somersault named after a gymnast from Germany named Jaeger.
Very nice.
Clean dismount.
Michaela Stambaugh. And now our first look at this young competitor, Kimberly Kleberg, who comes from an outfit called the Kurt Thomas Gymnastics School.
It's down there near Dallas, Texas, and Kurt Thomas, of course, America's first world champion ever, and the inventor of the Thomas Flare.
What would the Connor move be?
Well, I did a move on the parallel bars that was named after me for a while, but it's too easy to do now. People, for them, they warm up with it now. So.
The Connor contusion, named after my partner.
I like her style. Kurt has a program down there in Texas that's not atypical anymore these days. The gymnasts who work in his group need to be homeschooled, and they're in the gym from about 9 to 4. It's a full day's work. And Kurt is there every minute with them, so he's doing a good job.
Boy, it certainly shows. As you've been pointing out, you're really impressed with this new crop of women coming up through the ranks, the juniors, aged 11 through 15.
I'm so impressed with their fitness level.
Yeah.
They can do high-level difficulty. Oh, that was just unfortunate, because she had that.
Yeah, she had a great routine running. Still does. Kimberly Kleberg. Back to the bars. This is Deandra Smith. Her organization, the Aerial Athletics, coached by Heather Schnelzer.
She's having a good day. 8.25 on the vault, 8.8 on beam, 8.85 on floor. She could finish right up there today if she can hit a clean routine here. Nice release move.
Coach almost turned an ankle coming off the mat a moment ago.
The coaches are allowed to spot on the uneven bars. That's the one event where there is no deduction if the coach steps in to spot one of those release moves.
Nice
well,
routine.
They're happy.
Yeah. So we're in the fourth rotation and starting to get a feel for where they may wind up in the scoring. This should be fun. Ivana Hong on the floor exercise. We have to use the close-up lens to get in on her. She is a tiny little thing. But watch her perform and watch this beginning routine.
She had a 9.325 on the beam. She is great. Woo! Oh, way out of bounds. Beautiful high pike double somersault. Hard to believe someone so tiny can generate so much power.
You know, I've been meaning to make this point with you. I do a lot of figure skating with JoJo Starbuck, and when we see the younger skaters there, she will point out that you don't see the great leaps from the younger skaters because of the building musculature. But here with these young women in gymnastics, we're already seeing some great tumbling and jumping ability.
What I'm also impressed with is her presentation ability for...
Yeah, fluid.
Yeah.
Interesting choice. I think that's a French composition we're listening to.
Clean double and out of bounds again.
That'll hurt. Look at that.
First warm up event, it's 20 minutes.
Oh.
You can do that, huh, Lou?
Yeah. Once. Once.
Just once.
I could do it once.
On the way to the hospital.
To the bars, Megan Blair. The Texas Dreams Gymnasium.
Oh, she almost lost that handstand. She covered well. She's the young lady who works in Kim Zemeskel's program in Texas. Texas, one of the hotbeds for gymnastics in the U.S., along with Southern California,
Florida,
Pennsylvania, Florida.
Wow.
Okay. Good looking
Megan
dismount.
Austin Phobes, as they like to say, has her own destiny in her own hands here. And she quite literally Bart wants to avoid a slip as she starts out on the bars. She's right on the cusp. Stands 14th after 3 exercises. This is her 4th event, and this for a chance to go to nationals.
Just ahead of Kendall Robarts, who we just saw fall from the bars. She can score a little bit, just a little less than an 8.0. She would have enough to meet the qualifying score. She doesn't seem too uptight about it, does she?
I don't think she knows what that means yet.
This competition second, one more Martin, and then we go march out to the staging area.
All right, here she goes.
March out to the staging area. One more Martin.
It's a long way to go from one bar to the other.
I was just thinking. And you got to go uphill.
Oh, she's strong, though, boy. She casts up to those handstands so aggressively. Look at that. Boom.
Perfect straight. Perfectly straight.
Oh, look at that huge release combination. And a transition to the lower bar that any gymnast without that kind of strength would have just peeled right off. Man, that's great. Full pirouette, just a little over the handstand. Needs to finish right near the handstand for no deductions.
Wow.
All right, she'll make it.
Austin Phobes nails it. Oh, and she knows it. And now you do see that she knows the pressure, or the meaning of pressure. And a nice release in more ways than one at the end.
That's great. Yeah, that's that full pirouette, a little bit past the handstand, but she hung on, and then she popped a good layout pike double at the end, and that will be enough for her to secure a spot into the USA Nationals.
It'll take us about 5 minutes to...
Monica Soji has performed 3 events. This is the vault.
Her only low-scoring event today for her was the bar 7.725. And that's not bad. That's a simple laid-out Yurchenko vault. But for a tiny little gymnast, that's pretty good work.
And that concludes the 4th rotation. The competition is complete, but now the judging begins. The top 14 move on to nationals. We'll be back with the final results from Rochester right after this. Welcome back to our coverage from the Blue Cross Arena in Rochester, New York of the United States Gymnastics Classic. Here are the final results now from the vault. And finishing on top, Jana Bieger, and we're going to see a lot of this. Bart Connor, Brittany Ramsey in the 2nd spot, and Deandra Smith.
Not bad scores for junior vaulters. Vaulting is typically one of the weaker events for the junior age group gymnasts, the young ladies between 11 and 15 years of age.
And in the bars, it's Ashley Priest, Bianca Floor, and Shayla Worley.
I was really impressed with the technique and the daring release moves that these young ladies did. So the uneven bars was a terrific competition.
On the balance beam, Shayla Worley, Ashley Priest, and Ivana Hahn.
Shayla Worley just gave a clinic to everybody with her precise work, and those are outstanding beam routines. World class right there.
And in the freeform floor exercise, Ashley Priest, Jana Bieger, and Siobhan Church.
Once again, a good result, and overall, I saw some world-class gymnastics today from such a young group of kids. The U.S. program is in good shape right now.
And here are the all-around champions. As decided in Rochester, Ashley Priest with a sensational meet in front of Jana Bieger and Shayla Worley. Ashley Priest, Jana Bieger, and Shayla Worley as Bart Connor handicapped them before today's competition. My pleasure to work with Bart Connor again now for all of us here at CN8 and from Rochester. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon on CN8 Sports.